what I guess I've learned over in my experiences is that your brain or your psychology is, I just look at it as the same as a muscle that you're trying to train. So it's something that you need to prepare for. Obviously, putting yourself in those experiences as much as you can is great, but you need to have a clear plan when you go out to those races. So where I've found that sometimes, and it still happens today, if I have not planned and, set out a goal for that race, or, set out, like, for example, if my nerves are starting to act up and things like that, I have little trigger words that I use. If I haven't set those out before I go to that race, then obviously, my mind will start to wander and I'll start thinking about other things. And I mean, I'm lucky enough that I've had a lot of experience that I can, can reel that in and kind of pull it back on the day if I haven't put a plan together. But, 98% of the time I have put a plan together before I go out there. It's just like planning your 12 months and your peak and all that sort of stuff. It's a shame to plan that whole year or plan that peak, and you get to that peak and then all of a sudden, this thing between our ears switches off and doesn't allow us to do what we've trained this whole time to do. So again, it is like a muscle. I think it's important to prepare yourself in training. So potentially once a week, you can say to yourself, okay, I'm going to look at this track session as I'm at a race. I'm going to get my head into the race, and you might get a few butterflies in the stomach and things like that, and set yourself, a bit of a goal in training. I think that's always important. That's these little stepping stones to those, smaller goals and then those larger goals. I guess getting yourself into that mindset of being used to being under pressure, and kind of, we've all got that voice and it's never going to stop. I think it'd be wrong to say shut it out. I've found if I've just tried to shut it out, it just comes back even harder. So it's kind of funny. This might sound weird to some people, but I call my little voice it. So it's, I don't know if anyone's seen that movie, but it, the clown, that nasty clown that comes in, he is my friend, because at the end of the day, he's part of me. He makes me who I am and what I am. So, I just, on the day, he kind of comes out and, he's there occasionally on training and stuff like that. And I just talk to him, like, call me crazy, but I just talk to him and tell him that, hey, mate, this is my goal. This is what I'm going to go to today. This is what I'm going to do today. And I've got a clear vision of what I'm going to do. And, I'm not going to think about the outcome. I'm just going to think about what I can control. And then I say, thanks for coming. See you later. And then he's gone. And basically that's as simple as it is for me. That's where I've got to this point. For me, a big one, like, it's so simple. I just use forward. That's it. So it's something that's always been a really good trigger word for me. And it goes back to when I was actually working with Sean Eady. I just, we would talk about forward a lot, and it became a trigger word for me. It was forward, relaxed, and deep breathing. And that's kind of all I'm sort of telling myself when, for example, going up to the line for the Olympics in the sprint, or going up to the line to the Olympics or world titles in the keirin or sprint or team sprint or anything like that. That's all I'm using, because at that point, you've done everything you can. You've done the training, you've done the preparation, you're confident, or you would hope that you're confident by that point, that if you've done all your training, you should be confident because you've ticked all the boxes there. All it is just about allowing yourself the opportunity to go out there and present the package that you've brought. That's how I've always looked at it. It's just looking at, and saying to myself, give yourself the opportunity to do what you came here to do, and not blocking yourself, because, it's very easy to get caught up in the outcome of things. So obviously you're going to the line in keirin, it's like, shit, I really want to wear those rainbow jerseys, or I want that Olympic gold medal. That's great. I mean, you've got to have that inside you, but how are you going to do that? That's where, that planning, having a plan in place, and working on the process to get there. So that's, for me, is using those trigger words, knowing my tactics in the race. So confidence, for me comes from knowing that I've done all the training and preparing the best that I could have. So that's the confidence comes from me with that. Knowing the tactics that I'm going to use. So having confidence and knowing what I'm going to do out there. So there's a big thing for your confidence is, if you go out there and you're not confident, it's hard to focus on what you need to do. So having the confidence, knowing that you've done those two things is huge. And then again, not worrying about the outcome. Let it all happen. I certainly say that to myself a lot, is just let it happen. So I guess I've got a few trigger words depending on the situation. But yeah, they're the simplest ones is forward. A lot of the time, because I've been through my tactics and how I want or how I see the race playing out, I've been through it in my head so that when I go out into the race, I'm not actually thinking about, okay, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. It just happens. So I kind of plan forward and allow myself an open mind to be able to do that. So it comes naturally. And a lot of the time when I get up on the line, all I say to myself is forward and let it rip. That's it. And once I've done that, it's like, there you go, it's ready to go. Just let it rip, and you've done all the things that you need to do. And it's as simple as that.